Angel Reese, back in the gym, working on her pull-up, bang. Working on her midi, working on her mid-range game, 15 to 17 feet out, being able to create some space for herself. Yes, this looks embarrassingly slow. No, it is not in slow motion. This is just what we have to work with right now.
Throughout the offseason, the Indiana Fever players have been working out hard, and their workout videos are becoming extremely popular. Viral as evidenced by Caitlin Clark's nearly 2 million views in a single day, while Angel Reese's PR team recently published her own training video in what seems to be the most frantic reaction to the Fever success I've ever witnessed.
Man, we got a fire on the poop deck. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Man, we got a fire on the poop deck. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Clear the runway! Brace for impact! Clear the runway! Coming in brace for impact! Look alive, sunshine! Long two, will it go through? Sunshine, no long chance. Long two, will it go through? Or is there only two rows behind the bench? And they're like only two rows behind the bench. And they're like half full. Better attendance on Monday nights in my men's league. Come on, man!
In contrast to the Fever's videos, which feature players like Aaliyah Boston honing their post moves and Lexi Hall enhancing her three-point shooting for real-life game scenarios. Reese's video features her acting like the next. If you're thrilled about the 2025 Fever, leave a comment below with the word champion. Let's talk about what's going on and why Ree and her team are completely missing the point. Steph Curry shooting three-pointers is a skill she definitely doesn't need, as she shot a miserable 44.5% from less than 5 feet last season.
In the damn gym. We got some footage from in the lab.
Keep it real.
That's
I guess
right.
hell
She's
froze.
in the
Hell
damn
has
gym.
frozen over, but she is in the gym.
I'm just gonna keep it real. I guess hell
shots.
Hell has
and
frozen
as you
over,
can
but
imagine,
she is
there's
in
real
the gym
reaction to
practicing
this.
shots. And as you can imagine, there's real reaction to this.
Did you notice that the entire Indiana Fever team has been cooped up in the gym during the off-season? Their workout videos aren't just going viral. They're demonstrating to us what it looks like to prepare for a championship, in contrast to teams that merely talk about working hard. The players are chronicling their transformation step by step.
How are you? Good. How are you? So finally to meet you.
Yes.
The focus on the court hall is especially fascinating as she refines her catch and shoot technique and runs through screenplays that are crucial components of the Fever's motion offense that will create scoring opportunities next season. What stands out in these training sessions is the surgical precision. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall aren't just shooting around aimlessly. They're specifically improving their three-point shooting, finishing through contact, and developing mid-range games that perfectly complement Clark's vision. What sets these films apart from other off-season content, do you know? Instead of only watching from a distance, Keith Porter, the Fever's player development coach, is actively involved in helping each player grow. He even accompanied Aaliyah Boston on a trip to Massachusetts, demonstrating the team's dedication to their development. These workouts are customized to meet certain demands. They are not just any getting shots up program.
What up, Fever family? It's Coach Keith Porter. Today I got Aaliyah Boston in the gym. We're gonna working on some footwork, getting up and down the floor. Just working on being better today.
Are you ready for my hit?
We'll make 5 hours. Funny to you. I'm looking for
Those are backwards.
Yeah.
So eventually we're gonna get to like our whole set, but we're gonna isolate every single action and motion in it.
Yeah.
So this is just one of those fucked up motions.
Aaliyah following defensive adjustments by teams against her late in the previous season. Boston's training reveals yet another tale of strategic growth as she is retaliating by honing her left-hand post moves and creating a dependable floater. This is focused skill growth that specifically addresses the difficulties she encountered, not a random improvement. Boston is purposefully improving her game in addition to working out. Veterans are similarly confined. Howard, Natasha Dana-Bonder, and Brianna Turner are concentrating on pick-and-roll maneuvers in order to seize every chance. Because of Clark's passing, team strategy now incorporates individual training, demonstrating how the Fever is creating a unique system where each person's development contributes to the group's
about
objective.
4 or 5 days a week. A lot of young guns out there now. Young guns out there now.
They want to take his spot, and I don't want to take his spot, and I don't blame him, but I'm going to go after it. I'm going to go after it.
The most intriguing thing about these exercise videos is how well Lexi Hull's practice shots relate to real-world game scenarios. You're witnessing precisely how she will score next season when Clark pulls defenders and kicks the ball out. You're not just watching pointless drills. Every movement has a purpose, and every repetition has significance.
Lexi Hull back in Indiana, in the gym, working out. We saw Keith Porter in there. We saw Lexi her shot. Lexi reverse layups.
This isn't simply players working out. It's a championship blueprint being created in real time, with each player strengthening their strengths and correcting their weaknesses within a system that works as a whole to optimize their combined skill. The Fever are systematically creating an offensive machine where every component fits flawlessly, not just trying to get better. After months of red carpet appearances and podcast tours, while the Fever players were working out in gyms around the nation, the distinction between preparing and faking suddenly became very evident. Angel Reese's public relations team felt obliged to reveal that she was also working, but basketball fans saw something strange about this oddly timed exercise video right away and weren't afraid to call it out on Angel.
Angel Reese back in the gym practicing the 15 to 17 foot, but we see a lot in the Angel Reese practice footage of her working on this type of game, right? There's not too many practice videos that have been released on the Angel Reese front that doesn't involve her working with Lisa Leslie, that you see her working on her post moves, working around finishing around the basket, finishing around the rim.
Let's discuss the content of this video. Angel.
Reese,
the discrepancy between Reese's actual on-court shortcomings and her training has left both fans and analysts perplexed. Ree, a 6-3 post player who had a terrible season finishing at the rim, is seen practicing long 2-pointers and 3-pointers. You know, shots she hardly ever takes or makes in real games.
Nobody's guarding you. There's no chance you're going to get your shot blocked if you take a 3. Nobody's guarding you. There's like no way. How does she get her shot blocked all the time, man? I don't get it. I've never seen a professional basketball player make a layup so awkward. Someone coordinated, goes off the right foot, the poopity shot. When little bro thinks he can play against big bro. Who's your daddy? Do the dirt. Yeah, you know, the dirt. Fall away. Do it. That bag work. This league rocks.
Rock Chicago Sky supporters are particularly frustrated. One fan directly questioned, how come? It's Angel Reese's PR team, that is, releasing this and not the Chicago Sky. Another pointed out the obvious problem. She needs to work on her inside game, but she's practicing shooting 3-pointers. When that isn't her role, the criticism reveals a fan base that understands basketball fundamentals better than the training being displayed.
Feel somebody on your left side, like Pope says. Feel somebody on your left side, turn right. Feel somebody on your right side, turn left. We don't really see that with the Angel Reese workout videos. We see a lot of this. A lot of jump shots, set shots, catch and shoot, dribble, shot, dribble, pull up. Maybe we'll take it to the lane from 15 feet out on a drive, but not too much post play.
What's glaringly absent in Reese's video is any sign of Chicago Sky coaching staff, no structure, development plan, no professional, guidance tailoring drills to address her specific weaknesses, just Angel a camera and what appears to be a hastily arranged session designed more for social media than actual improvement. When you consider that Reese shot an abysmal 44.5% from less than 5 feet, which analysts have called one of the worst percentages in WNBA history for a player taking that. Many shots from that range you have to wonder why she's focusing on perimeter, shooting instead of finishing. Fundamentals, her 39.1% overall field. Goal percentage last season screams for attention to layups and close range. Scoring, not three-point shooting.
This is like WNBA leveling up and all eyes on her now. I think that she knows that she has to completely restructure her form because that is not the way to be efficient in the post position that she is in. At the post position that she's in, a layup is supposed to be a given. She needs to improve her touch around the rim, like all over the place, but she seems to take these desperation shots.
The fact that Reese seems to be disregarding basketball royalties' advice is even more striking. According to reports, Lisa Leslie told her,
"If Angel Reese was my power forward, and he saw this chart that we're looking at right now, and I see that when she's close around the basket finishing on layups, she's shooting 42%. And when I see Camila Cardoso around the basket finishing on layups, bottom of the chart, folks, she's finishing at a 56% clip. Well, if I'm Tyler Marsh, I am saying to myself, okay, let's make sure that this paint is not congested. So when we hand it to our big girl, when we hand it to our finishing issues is working higher on the pick of the two from the 2024 WNBA draft, when we hand it to the better finisher out of the two, when we hand it to the better player out of the two offensively, let's make sure this paint is open so she has some room to operate."
Basketball experts who talk about letting the numbers speak are serious when they say that Reese's glitzy Instagram workouts conceal a statistical problem. When a player with basic finishing issues is working on the wrong skills entirely, it indicates either a lack of self-awareness or poor developmental guidance, both concerning a young player's career trajectory. Any shooting coach would shudder at this fact. And the more closely you examine the stats, the more you realize that the problems go far beyond the immediate basket area. Think about how devastating it is for a post player's offensive arsenal to shoot fewer than 15% from 5 to 9 feet. Being less than 2 shots out of 10 attempts and only a few steps away from the hoop indicates a serious technical problem that needs to be fixed right away.
It's just a fact. Below 50% on shots. I mean, less than more than a fact. She is not good at layups. Is bad. But I was looking at her stats. So I jotted some down right here. Is that she shots from 5 to 9 feet, 39% from 13%. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet, 13%.
The reflected mirage is especially illuminating. Due to these difficulties, Reese's own missed shots accounted for nearly 40% of her rebounds from the previous season. When this occurs so frequently, it produces a statistical illusion that inflates rebounding numbers while concealing one of the most inefficient finishing rates for a player of her height and position. It's basketball's equivalent of failing upward. Miss rebound, miss again, repeat great.
Well, you heard what I said. And look, building that brick house on the hoop, the guy's being objectively just critical when it comes to basketball. With her shot release, I don't know how she gets any shots off. It's real slow. Well, you heard what I said. And look, the guy's being objectively just critical when it comes to basketball.
Specific mechanical flaws.
With that release, how is she getting shots off? It's real slow.
Often starts too low. Frequently at chest level, creating a pushing motion rather than a smooth shooting
Reese's release point typically begins too low, sometimes at chest level, resulting in a pushing motion rather than a fluid shooting stroke. Professional shooting coaches have identified particular mechanical problems holding her back. Her propensity to cross her wrists when shooting makes matters worse because it throws off the alignment required for accuracy. These are serious problems that call for specialized technical overhauls, not small adjustments. When playing a similar position, it is impossible to overlook the striking contrast with Aaliyah Boston. In her first season, Boston shot 55.2% from the field, illustrating what effective post play looks like. That 16 percentage point difference is the difference between a player who consistently converts high percentage opportunities and one who wastes them.
In the world, not only working on layups, that release is still dragging on layups. when you got such a problem and you're so inefficient with your inside ball game that far away. I get it. Eventually, I just don't understand. You got to develop a jump shot. Not only that, but that you got to get the fundamentals down first. Slow.
Boston's approach to improvement further highlights the disconnect.
You're 4. Why are you shooting that far away? I get it. Eventually, you got to develop a jump shot.
And left-hand
but you got to get the fundamentals down first.
Boston's strategy for getting better emphasizes the gap even more. Her exercises concentrate carefully on developing her left hand, footwork drills, and touch finishes around the rim, all of which directly address the demands of her position. You don't need a highly advanced degree in player development to see that Reese is practicing the wrong skills entirely when her workouts feature perimeter shots that she hardly ever takes or makes in real games. When a 6-3 post player with such poor finishing statistics is filming workouts that are dominated by three-point attempts, it suggests a worrying lack of self-awareness about her actual role and weaknesses.
Look, I'm watching for some real interesting things to happen this year. Keeping their team out of the playoffs. Can she cure the layup issue? That's a big one. Look, I'm watching for some real interesting things to happen this year. Will the Chicago Sky sideline their real superstar? Issue? That's a big one. Carmilla Cardozo. Number 2. For Angel Reese. Will the Chicago Sky that ball sideline their real from the outside in? Carmilla Cardozo, that big that can absolutely dominate. That ball should be feeding from the outside in through that big that can absolutely dominate.
In a league where roster spots are limited and player development windows close quickly, addressing the wrong issues is a luxury no player can afford. Career longevity in the WNBA isn't about how many followers you have. It's about evolution. This misalignment between statistical reality and practice focus is not only disappointing, but it could also limit your career. What we're witnessing today from Clark and Ree could mean the difference between a trivia question about what happened and a future Hall of Famer.
But now they're in that world. And so my only advice is usually just to make sure they keep basketball the main thing, because at the end of the day, that is your vehicle. It's your vehicle to, Angel Reese has a podcast. It's her vehicle to be a podcaster, like right? Whatever Caitlin ends up doing. It's the vehicle to get you to that point. So you always want to make sure that part doesn't fall off.
Veterans like Subbard and Diana Taurasi didn't dominate for 20 years by chance. Instead, they continuously improved their games by adding new elements, honing their techniques, and adjusting to shifting defensive systems. While Reese seems to be going in a completely different route, Clark seems to comprehend this template for prolonged success intuitively. Examine Clark's methodical approach to development. She is concentrating on the specific areas that presented challenges for her as a rookie, strengthening her handle under pressure, extending her mid-range arsenal, and finishing through physical contact. This isn't a random development. Rather, it is a strategic evolution that follows the example set by multiple MVPs.
She's back in her natural habitat, back in the lab, and arguably the best player in the league. It's got to be a scary sight for the rest of the WNBA if she gets even better, because it's not as if she wasn't absolutely phenomenally elite as a rookie and arguably the best player in the league after the Olympic break.
As her social media following rises, Reese's focus continues to be perplexingly divided, and her core basketball shortcomings are still unrecognized. The history of the NBA provides a depressing reminder of reality. The league is replete with previous top draft picks who left after their rookie contracts because they were unable to build on their initial skills. Unless Reese drastically changes her strategy, the defensive adjustments that revealed her shortcomings last season will only get more complex. Basketball development experts say that the second year is a crucial window, a make-or-break phase when players may either fix their weaknesses or watch as opponents mercilessly take advantage of them. Clark is assaulting this window deliberately and knowing exactly what's at risk.
It's a balance. You have to find that balance. But when you look at some of the other athletes, particularly men, who've set a little bit of a blueprint in terms of the business and the sport, you never see LeBron miss a workout.
For Reese, this window seems to be an afterthought behind media appearances and corporate deals. And as her fan base expands, her core basketball shortcomings go unnoticed. Here, the history of the NBA provides a grim reminder of reality. There are several past top draft picks in the league who left following their rookie contracts because they were unable to build on their initial skills. Unless Reese drastically changes her strategy, the defensive adjustments that revealed her shortcomings last season will only get more complex. Basketball development experts say that the second year is a crucial window,
conversely,
a
risks having her potential ceiling determined by the skills she brought into the league rather than what she develops after arrival.
I just don't understand why she practices She will never use it in the game. She will never use it in the game. Gonna be faked out. Who is actually gonna be faked out? She seems like she should be working on layups. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, seriously, I don't know what else to say. A lot of people saying the same thing. A lot of people. Everybody knows what deficiency there is, and it's within 5 foot. And it's within 5 foot of the basket. That shot had a two-factor authentication. Okay. I can't dispute that. I can't dispute that. Forget step back layup drills, man. Work on what Lisa Leslie taught you.
Basketball analysts are witnessing the blueprint for a possible dynasty when they examine the Indiana Fever's off-season strategy. Their methodical skill development isn't random. Rather, it's a carefully planned system where each player's development advances the team's overall goal. The Fever's developmental framework provides each player with a clear path to maximize their specific role within the system, which is what makes this strategy so powerful. When the 2025 season begins, the excitement for Fever fans isn't just about next year. It's about the foundation of something that could dominate the WNBA for years to come. If you agree, don't forget to comment the word champion below, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next one.